All righty. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, maybe that's a good thing. What's up, Mark? Tammy Solomon. Boston Christian says John 1:16. Out of his fullness of his grace, we have all received one graceful blessing after another. I don't think I haven't gotten one thing that I did not ask for from God. I don't ask a lot. I don't think that's what praying's about. But either way, what's up, guys? Welcome in. Sorry if I keep clearing my throat. Got a little bit of cotton mouth here. Mark says, maybe update YouTube. I don't know. I ain't got no control over that. I'm not even using YouTube right now. Everything I'm doing is on StreamYard. Do you guys like the filter that I have on the camera? Purchased a couple filters. One for when we hit the street. Sometimes you need a certain type of filter so that you can see through glass and you're not stuck with just the reflection. You can see through water and glass. So we got that. Jerry, Barb, Scorpio. You guys watching the new season of Dexter? I think it's called Resurrection. It was kind of corny the first couple episodes, but it's starting to heat up. It's reminding me of the Dexter of old. What's going on, Cindy? How's everybody's weekend going? Louise, what up? After season 3? I don't know. I was I'm what you call a binge watcher. Like usually when the season's done, I'll just binge watch it. A couple hours a day. But that was definitely one that I binge watched. That, The Sopranos, The Wire. If you haven't seen The Wire, go watch that. It's got the whole duality of the criminal and the cop. I like it. Oh, and then Oz. Oz was a good one. Shameless. It's another good show. Let's see. There was something I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. Let me open up YouTube here. I want to show you the comments on a post that I did the other day. And I kind of did it this way. This is kind of how I expose morons. And look, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, right? But I'm also not the dullest. This was kind of to expose that crew. The dull crew. So some of you have already been in my community section and been getting a laugh at it. I've seen some of you in there. Jinx, of course. Leaving the popcorn. Okay, view your channel. All right, let me share my screen. It's kind of funny, actually. Okay, how many of you saw this post here? Let's zoom it in. So this was my comment. I put, "This is Richard Allen, a man with a warm smile, blue eyes, and a family." And then I posted these photographs here. I mean, look at the smile on this guy. Look at those teeth. Look at those pearly whites. Look, military man, look at that. It's a good looking guy right there. He couldn't harm a fly. And I haven't been getting any of my notifications because my channel's apparently found some kind of algorithm, and I'm just kind of riding the wave. So figured I'd come check up on some of these comments. Let's start here. Tabitha. Some of these aren't funny. Some of these are actually good questions, like Tabitha here. "I would be interested in hearing what Richard Allen's daughter has to say about her father." I agree. I mean, I've had that thought to myself more than once, right? Like, man, I wonder what's going through Brittany's mind. I wonder what she's thinking right now. Like, hopefully she's doing okay. It's got to be tough. I mean, just imagine having your father taken from you. That's really what happened to her, right? She doesn't have a father anymore, right? Her grandkids, no grandfather on her side. So Richard Allen killed that for his daughter as well. So not only did he kill Abby and Libby and their family's chance to raise grandbabies and to watch them grow and to see the things that they did, whether they flourished or not, whether they flourished or crashed. That's up to them. Wasn't up to Richard Allen. So at the same time, he took his own life, really. He took his life away from his daughter. No more grandbabies, no more watching her family grow. She has a beautiful family, her and her new husband. It's just messed up. And to see somebody just not face it, you know what I mean? It makes me specifically really upset about it. How he can just sit there in denial, and his defense team and his wife. I know a lot of people like to stick up for Kathy, and I feel for her too, but she had a chance to help Richard Allen. She chose to be selfish. Sometimes I wonder who the real psychopath is in the family. Richard Allen may just be the sociopath, right? But he was the one smiling in all the photographs. She was the one that was not smiling. So, I mean, there's a small part of me that thinks that what happened on February 13th in 2017, not to blame her, but I'm sure Richard Allen may have blamed her, for putting him through whatever it was that he was going through. He wanted to confess. DL, what's up? Somewhere in Canada. Bad teeth? Who has bad teeth? She has to live with that legacy. I can't imagine. It's just not fair, Beach. It's not fair to Brittany. It's not fair to her husband. I mean, the fact that he has to deal with that now too, I wonder what he's feeling, the weight on his shoulder. I feel like I think he's from the Philippines or something. I don't know what their culture's like. I don't know, maybe this brings some kind of shame upon them. It's just not fair. It's just not fair. Yeah, and I did mention that somewhere in Canada. Welcome in, by the way. Yeah, I said maybe she's just self-conscious about her teeth. I did say that during our but I mean, she's definitely not self-conscious now. In all of her Facebook photos, her videos, she's not like that. She doesn't have her mouth closed. So maybe just over time she learned to embrace it. I don't know. But you might be right. Good to see you, Mark. Yeah. See, consistency. That's all we're looking for around these parts. All right, let's go on to the next one. All righty. So who is this? Mordo and Drigby, the cute little bunny rabbit. Here, maybe I should zoom in a little bit more. There, that looks better, right? Okay, Mordor. That sounds like Lord of the Rings or Led Zeppelin. Considering that's a photo of Dennis Rader, do tell. He is also known as the BTK killer, bind, torture, and kill. Is he now? Oh, pray tell. XO, is that Fanny? Says Mordor. He's saying that killers can still appear as friendly family men. The BTK killer was a monster and still was a cuddly dad at home. So Kathy Allen's opinion means nothing, basically. That's it. Thank you. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Fanny. I thought it was going to be obvious, but I knew a couple of people. Now, I was targeting, it's I guess a personality type. I don't know what it really is, but it's people who react to what they see on the surface of things, right? They see something and they react. They see something, they get emotional, they react. They don't do any digging. They don't take a deep breath. You know, I call that emotional intelligence, right? You could have the highest IQ in the world. You can be the smartest man in the room. But if you're emotionally inept, you're fucking useless. I hate to say it, but you're useless because you're going to be having a damn anxiety attack or some kind of breakdown when the shit hits the fan, and you're going to be useless, right? You're going to be overreacting and arguing with everybody. Feeling you're targeting me. Nobody's targeting you, MacGyver. Get us out of this fucking elevator before it falls. You guys are ganging up on me. I'm not helping until we figure this out. You guys know what I'm talking about. Cyber, what's up? Eminem, what's good? What are we discussing? Sorry, like, I don't know. What are we discussing? You tell me. Right now, we're just reading funny comments. So I left a post for you guys just joining. I posted this on my community page because I saw something funny on X, right? And I kind of stole this from the post that was on X. It said, "This is Richard Allen, a man with a warm smile, blue eyes, baby blue eyes, right? And a family." So these are the people that are susceptible to the manipulation of psychopaths. So if somebody thinks that Richard Allen is some type of cuddly dad, those are the folks that they will target. Those are the folks that they will try to be involved in their lives. They don't want any part of people like us, right? Who aren't emotional, moving through life emotionally reckless, right? We just take a moment, take a deep breath. All right, what are we looking at? Am I overreacting? Is there, are they being ironic? Just take a deep breath, Take a deep breath. So I posted this, and with these photos, right? We all know who that is. Everybody in true crime should probably knows who this person is. One of the most prolific serial killers, compartmentalized killers, I should say, known to man. He is when anybody refers to hiding in plain sight, the BTK is the go-to example, right? The BTK killer, hiding in plain sight. I mean, look at him. If you saw this photo, you would just think he was some dad Fucking Ned Flanders. So it's just funny. Who we got in the building? So Jari, I think I said hi to you. Hi again anyway. Cindy, oh my God, that guy Sleuth doesn't even know what Richard Allen looks like. I thought that was Richard Allen. I guess I'm putting out false information. Hello. Don't do that. All right. So shout out to Fanny for trying to help these poor souls. A for effort. I don't think you can though, Fanny. She even reposted. He or she, I'm not sure. How are these people not getting this post? Well, that's the same reason why we can't come to a consensus on social media about anything, because you have people with common sense and then some people without it. They just don't care. They just react, you know. This is as far as they got. They said, "Oh, Richard Allen hashtag Richard Allen. Let's see what this is." Dennis, right? What the fuck? This is Richard Allen. That's all they read. This is Richard Allen. Then they see this. That's not Richard Allen. And then they go into the comment section and yell at me for giving false information without even realizing, like, no shit, dumbass. Hello. Let's see. John Perry Barlow declaration. Damn, that's a long one. Says Brian Koberger, also a creeper with blue eyes. Bug-eyed Brian. Yeah, I like that. Bug-eyed Brian. Bug-eyed Brian. Steve Buscemi eyes. No way you'll convince me Steve Buscemi is not a serial killer. Anthony France, my dude. Exactly. A family man, but a monster. Right? They just can't get it. They can't wrap their mind around the idea of somebody hiding in plain sight. Little Ricky, right? The family man. She Warrior up in the mix. I think it's time for Kathy Allen to take her blinders off. I agree with that, She Warrior. And if she knew her husband was so innocent, why did she not get on the stand and defend him? That's a hell of a question. It's a hell of a question. But here's a more important question. Richard Allen was with his mother in Peru, or Mexico, Indiana, which is right there next to Peru, and said he left at 11. So why didn't his mother take the stand and say, yeah, he left at 11 and he seemed fine? You want to know why? Because it would have been a lie. It would have been a lie. Louise up in the mix. There's Mark. There's Cindy. Let's go to Jessica, Carnahan. So here's one of those people I was referring to, right? Just emotional. That isn't Richard Allen. That's another monster. And then she's going to educate me on the monster. Look him up. Right? You can tell when people have never, ever, ever been to my channel. And that's why I put this hashtag right here. Because there's a lot of people who are new to the Delphi case since the arrest of Richard Allen, or even since the prosecution of Richard Allen. So I'm kind of fishing right here. I'm like, let's see, whoosh, I'm getting bites. Let's go fishing for strange folks. Funkarella 5. I just got into with some people on Facebook who were saying Koberger shouldn't have gone upstairs. No, he shouldn't have broken in. Richard Allen shouldn't have gone to the bridge. These people scare me. Yeah. And the thing about Richard Allen is he knew exactly what he was doing. Whether he had help, whether he worked with others. And please continue digging for that information. It's important for us to have more than 10% about knowing only 10% of what actually happened to a actual solved crime where somebody's spending 130 years in prison. We shouldn't only know 10% of the facts surrounding that case. So please dig deeper. But the truth is, right now, it's just Richard Allen. It's Richard Allen and everything that we've learned about killers and killers just like him. Right? He's most likely fantasized about murder, thought about it, sexual assault, sexual sadism. So he knew what he was doing. When he made that decision to confront those girls, he did it because he thought he was going to get away with it. And I'm sure he was the victim, right? Oh, it's, my family's ragging on me. They invited him to lunch and he refused to go with them, right? So he might be triggered by something. His wife's brother passed away just a few months prior. His daughter moved out, just announced that she was getting married in September, right around the time that Anthony Shots was created also. So all of his stressors happened right around the time that Anthony Shots, the account, was being created. And not to mention, he's working in CVS right around the corner from the Klein home. Who's to say they didn't walk in there? Hey, Ricky, it's me. Here's my son, Keegan. Oh, you have a son? Yeah. What are you up to? Where's Kathy? She's a mess right now. We're not really on good terms. Her brother passed away. Who? Oh, Johnny. Oh, Johnny passed? Wow, I remember him. He was, her little brother. Yeah, she's acting all weird. I think she's cheating on me, I don't know what's going on. Well, why don't you come out with us tonight? Why don't you come hang out over here on Canal Street with me and my boy, Kiki? Maybe we'll take you out and find you a date. Right? They go out for the night, strikes out, comes home, and all you got is that fat slob sitting on the couch with all his devices, fucking sending fake photographs of money and whatnot. Maybe Rick was like, well, what you doing over there? Well, since you struck out at the bar, I'm going to hook you up. What's your type? Right? And then he accesses the devices. Just a hypothetical. Marsh. Kathy Allen has to be in denial because to admit that she knew or has a feeling would be hard to live with. So she goes and swims in the Egyptian river. Yeah, that's 100% accurate. I don't blame her either. I mean, it's got to be difficult. It's not an easy truth to accept. Man, that's why I just don't understand how people are supporting Richard Allen after everything that he did, not only to Kathy Allen, to Abby and Libby, what he did to the town of Delphi. I just don't see how you guys can support that guy after everything he's done. No remorse. Even tried to manipulate his mother about being saved, right? He was probably manipulating her so she didn't testify against him, now that I think about it. What's up, Brandon? What's up? C. One day? See one day? See you one day? Am I close? Welcome in either way. All right, let's continue on here. That isn't Richard Allen. Camille Rodriguez. What's up out there, Camille, in YouTube land? I got to be missing a clue somewhere here. See, she paused. She said, okay, I want to react to this, but I'm going to stop for a second, take a deep breath, and I'm going to take a closer look at what this guy's trying to convey here. And then she says, I think I understand the simplicity of the comparison of the facade they hid behind. There you go. See how that works? Who's this? Marjan Chacon? Marjan Chacon. That's Dennis Rader. Why are you posting incorrect info? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy, Marge. Large Marge. Tell him Large Marge sent you. Fubar Chronicles. I like that name. I'm trying to help out the folks in the chat. Oh, you're sweet. Fubar is a sweetie pie. Look, he's comparing Richard Allen to Raider. And then here's Jinx. This shit made me laugh. Jinx says, I'm here for the comments. And then I was like, oh, hell yeah. That's how I noticed all the craziness was Jinx. Grizzly, what's up, Grizzly? Says, I'm just going to laugh when all you who favor guilty get slapped in the face with the retrial and the actual truth. Well, what truth? What truth is it? I haven't even heard any new information, new evidence. You guys are still arguing about the same old stuff. Like, what is your argument? Like, you haven't attacked Richard Allen's alibi. You haven't attacked Richard Allen's physical evidence, right? The bullet. And you haven't attacked his timeline. So please explain to me what is going on in your mind that makes you think that this man is innocent. I am genuinely curious. So let's continue on. They convicted a man with no actual evidence. Well, they had a lot of evidence. And I don't remember Richard Allen standing up one time and saying that I'm being railroaded. Not one of the witnesses said they seen Richard Allen on the trail or the bridge. Nope, they said they saw the bridge guy. It was Richard Allen that said he saw the girls. You see how that works? So you're not wrong, but you're not right either. Grizz, he's going to give lessons now on how to be a witness. I know if I'm a witness and I seen a guy that's sitting right in front of me on the bridge, I would make it a point. Let's see what else he's talking about here. Make it a point of saying, I seen that man on the bridge. Bridge guy was not 5'3". Well, Richard Allen's not 5'3", somewhere between 5'4" and 5'6". And if he's 5'4" and he's wearing boots and a hat, right? Come on, do the math. He was more along the lines of 5'8", 6 foot tall. So yeah, would have put him closer to about 5'8" with boots and a hat and a hoodie. He didn't chase them, and Libby didn't say that be a gun. I agree with that. She didn't say that be a gun. That's all you got? That's the only solid piece is that she doesn't say that be a gun. She said that we go down. We've said that from the beginning, Grizz. We agree with you. Carroll County law enforcement and prosecutors are freaking idiots. Yes. I agree with that. I agree with you on that. I hate politicians. Clown world. Get him, Jinx. Fanny says, you're not going to get that laugh. Scary, isn't it? Yeah, it is fucking scary, Patty. It really is. Compartmentalized killers are very disturbing, right? Because they can hide amongst us. Who's this? Christium 460 says, that is not Richard Allen. Get your facts straight, bud. Yep. My bad. I guess I just didn't really know what Richard Allen really looked like. I just went on Google and looked up compartmentalized killer, and that popped up. So I just thought it was him. Mr. Songbird says, absolutely. I have always believed and followed Sleuth. This is so wrong. This is just so wrong. This misinformation must be stopped. Oh, let's take a break there. Somebody needs to stop Sleuth. He's going around saying Dennis Rader is Richard Allen. Sensei, what up? Because some people don't want the truth, they just want to be right. And admitting to themselves that he did it would shatter their fragile. Yeah, it's all about ego. Only ego could take you down that kind of a road. Um, Kind of reminds me of the road that people went down that were supporting Brian Koberger. And then even after they convinced, they thought that he had been somehow manipulated to confess. So I mean that don't let your ego take you down a dark alley, right? That you can't come back out of. Mark says one of the arguments I heard for Richard Allen was that he saw three other different girls. Yeah, and that's interesting. And I would love to hear this out because the facts matter and the truth matters, right? The truth matters. So who are these other potential girls that were there between 12 and 1:30? Who are they? And not only who are they, why didn't Richard Allen's defense attorneys bring them up? Seriously, I'm down to do the whole devil's advocate thing here because I'm truly curious. But with the timeline, the lack of anybody willing to testify about Richard Allen's timeline, which would be his wife, right? What time did he wake up? Did you guys wake up together? Was he in a good mood? Did you have an argument? Have you guys been fighting? She doesn't want to testify to any of that because Richard Allen was probably pissed off from the moment he woke up. Guaranteed. So he's going to bring that attitude over to his mother's, where he's going to spend a short amount of time with her and I think his sister. They were supposed to go to lunch. Why didn't he go to lunch? Why did he say, you know what? I don't want to spend time with my loving mother and my adoring sister that I miss, I haven't seen in weeks or months. But instead, I'm going to go to the Monon High Bridge Trail and drink a six-pack. Something's up. Something's not quite right. And the reason they didn't want to get up on that stand and tell that jury a lie, because that's perjury. And the truth is even worse. The truth would have sent him to prison probably weeks prior. They would have been done deliberating. What's up, Anthony? I just don't know how anyone watched that interrogation and thinks Ricky is innocent. Not quite sure. Tell him Large Marge sent you. Either way, it's cool. With a K. Oh, here's Fubar again. Trying to help out. He is comparing Richard Allen to Dennis Rader. So I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. Go ahead and close that down. DL, I still think she says, could that be a gun, but fast? But I have sound pareidolia. Yeah, we all suffer from it. The thing is not whether you have it or not. It's whether you can identify it within yourself. That way you know what part of the equation that it's working on, right? That way you can remove it. Like, okay, that's how confirmation bias works. Like, yeah, I have a bias that Richard Allen is guilty, right? Because I favor tool mark evidence. That's my bias. I feel that it's solid evidence. But if I'm going to make a critical decision, I need to identify that bias and look at things critically, right? Brandon says, I was a semi-politician, but I gave that up for sanity. Yeah, that cannot be an easy thing to do. I mean, that's basically what attorneys are, right? Politics, politicians, you know, communicating with people on an even keel, being politically correct. You're not going to find any truth doing that, in my opinion. right? Trying to please everybody. What's up, CJK? Happy Sunday to you. Yeah. Nah, I don't want to go to lunch with my family. That sound, I'm not with that. I wasn't with that, is what he said. That's what he said in the interview. I wasn't with that, so I went to the trails. Sensei says because he had an overwhelming desire to kill that day. Well, he said he thought about suicide. So he thought about taking his own life, but it was too much of a coward. And we hear a lot of psychopaths, sociopath, convicted killers who say the same thing. Like, I should have just taken my own life. I even tried to, but I couldn't do it. That's the thing. It's just the only love that they know is self love, right? The pieces of the story that they always leave out is anything that paints them in a negative light. So these types of psychotic killers, that's what they do. They'll tell you half truths and they'll leave out anything that makes them look like a monster out. But I don't know if he had an overwhelming desire, Sensei. I'm sure he's fantasized about it. There might be something weird going on, maybe with this daughter, something that he never perpetrated on her. But you never know what's going on in somebody's mind. You never know what they're thinking. He talked about hurting people. Somebody named Chris, Don, what was it, Kevin? He said he was molested as a child, and I think that's the hardest part about all of this is the childhood trauma. I think when kids are traumatized at an early age, molested, sexually assaulted, abused, starved, tortured, things like that, I think it's harder for them to believe in God. And if it's hard for you to believe in God, it's easy for the devil to deceive you. And I think early childhood trauma, I think that's the devil's favorite game to play. If he can get you to hurt your child at a young age, he knows what he's creating. He's creating these monsters. That's the whole purpose of it, right? So that's the part that really bothers me about all of this, that most of these killers at some point themselves were victims. And there's part of your humanity that feels for them, and it's like this fucked up cycle. So the worst thing I think in this world is a groomer, somebody that sexually assaults children and convinces them not to talk about it, or that it's normal, that it's part of a healthy relationship, or if that they say something that their family's going to get hurt or they're going to get killed, like sextortion. It's that kind of thing that troubles my mind on a daily basis. Diamonds, what's up? It's good to see everybody. I noticed pro Allen people take the second timeline as truth instead of the first one Richard Allen mentioned. And that's why I found it very important for us to break down Richard Allen's timeline. If you guys haven't watched that live stream, go do it now. It's virtually impossible for him to for that to be an actual timeline for him. It's just not possible. CJK, he told Walla he was going to essay the girls, but then he couldn't and knew they'd report it, so he decided to kill them. He's got no soul. Absolutely no soul. People are just trash or items. So he's probably fantasized about killing or sexual assault, knowing that he would have to kill him afterward. In the way that the girls were attacked, the reason that there was no signs of a struggle was because And Libby was holding her clothes like this in front of her, right? So if you're standing like this, right, you're standing like this. You're standing like this with clothes. Look at your neck; it's exposed. Sorry, I'm trying to get in the camera. Okay, so you're standing like this, and right here, your neck is exposed. So all he would have to do is just kind of grab her and just start swiping away. Right? Your hands are holding the clothing. And that also explains why Abby was wearing the clothing, because after he attacked Libby, he caught up to Libby. Like, get back here. I'm not letting you leave. And then she's just standing there holding her clothing in front of her. And he just reaches out and starts just doing this, like flailing. That's why she looks like she was just brutally attacked. But really, it was just him, I think, in a frenzy. She drops her clothes right there on the ground, walks a few steps, and then collapses. Now, Abby's right there going, "What do I do?" And he's like, "I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Just sit down till I figure things out. Like, let me think about this. Like, I don't really know what's going on right now. Like, I'm out of my mind." So he says, "Well, go ahead and get dressed." She doesn't have her clothes because she left it in the creek trying to run away from this fucking guy. So he says, "Well, just put on Libby's clothing." So she puts on the jeans, puts on her socks and her shoes back on. And he's thinking, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And probably when she wasn't looking and she probably was just sitting down like this, like just praying, like hoping and wishing. And then he just came up from behind and went like, "Nope, I can't let you live." Yeah. Personality disorders. And not everybody with personality disorders is a killer, right? I think that the early childhood trauma and things like that kind of add to the possibility of that happening. Davey, what's up? Loonies take Logan's confessions to Davis as the Bible. Not to mention the Frank's memo. They always get triggered when I tell them that they take it as gospel, because they do. And that's why they get triggered, because they're emotionally inept as well. But they don't believe Richard's confessions to his mom and wife. I mean, what about his denials? Where are his denials? Why didn't he, if he was under psychosis, why didn't he ever just deny it? I know that there were occasions where he did deny it, but where are those phone calls? Where's his public outrage? Where's his 60 minutes interview, right? Where's his sit down? He doesn't want to sit down. He's just doing whatever his wife says, right? And she's in denial. If she can stay in denial, maybe she can keep a little bit of her sanity. Human frailty. He took a knife and he took a gun. He went and got them out of wherever. He kept them. He got ammo. He will never know if he was going to assay them. Did he have condoms to prevent DNA? I don't know. There's that weird email address, the Fujaka. If you look in the Urban Dictionary, it says it's somebody that likes to be pleasured with somebody's feet. So maybe that's why there was no DNA. Maybe that's what he was doing. I mean, I just don't know. All I know is that less than 2% of murder scenes actually have DNA that leads back to the killer. Less than 2%, you guys. There's not supposed to be any of the killer's DNA there. Rarely is there. But nobody thinks about that. Thank you, Jari. Always sticks out to me how Libby's like Richard Allen's daughter on the photo of her sitting on the bridge. Can't be a coincidence. I don't think it is either, Eminem. And I hate to speculate, but man, that's what my gut's telling me. Because that's what Richard Allen talked about in his interviews. He talked about crossing the bridge and going down the hill with his daughter. He's like, yeah, I've been across the bridge and down that hill a few times with my daughter. So the fact that he took her across that bridge makes you wonder, like, what was he thinking at that point in time? Was he thinking like, man, I could just kill my kid? Or if this wasn't my daughter, I could, the things that I could do? It just really, I'm curious about that. He's the one that mentioned it. He said I would cross the bridge with my daughter and we would go down that hill. What did he do back there? Right? I know she testified and I hate to even talk about it, but I mean, come on. You can't put somebody in the middle of a high profile trial like what they did with Richard Allen's daughter and expect her to be honest, especially if she hasn't spoken to anybody about a potential any kind of attack by Richard Allen, like molestation or whatever. Even if it did happen, she's not going to go, yes, right here, smack dab in the middle of this trial, I'm going to put my father to prison for the rest of his life and then out myself, right? Something that I probably haven't even told my new husband, or maybe just barely told my new husband. Like, that's not something, and for the defense team to do that is fucked up. To put her up on the stand and ask her if she was molested by her dad, just for the sake of a win, shameful. Shame on you guys. Because it doesn't matter if you put her on the stand or not. We're still going to wonder, you didn't do her any favors. You threw her to the wolves. Now, where's mom? You didn't throw mom to the wolves. Why wouldn't you do that? You threw them to the wolves. Oh, it's because it's not going to help your case. Right. Well, why didn't you bring up Kagan Klein? Oh, because it potentially could lead back to your client. Okay. So you didn't want to do any favors for the investigation, did you? Sleuth, do you think his daughter will ever break her silence, a book or interview? I don't know, but my heart goes out to her. Like, my heart literally breaks for her. I just couldn't imagine. I try to put myself in her position. I adore my father. I look up to my dad. He's always been my hero. He's always been there for me, no matter what. As a young man, always getting into trouble and shit, he was just always there. If all of a sudden I was to find out he's some kind of sick child predator, God, that would destroy me. That basically, not only does it take away her child's grandfather, it almost takes away her life. It takes away Brittany's life. She's no longer who she thought she was. That cannot be easy. She's no longer Brittany. And everybody needs to realize that it was Richard Allen that did that to her. Did that to Abby and Libby, did that to their families, did that to their futures, and did this to Delphi. Oh, there's not enough evidence. Okay. Just show me Richard Allen one time saying, look, guys, I'm being railroaded. I don't know what's going on. I'm being set up. One time. Show me one man that's being railroaded that doesn't say that publicly one time. He doesn't write a letter. He doesn't write a sentence, but you're going to go to bat for him. Like, I understand people go to prison falsely all the time, and we advocate for that on this channel. We spend a lot of time talking about false confessions because it's a real thing. We talk a lot about police corruption. We've done live streams on cops that literally plant evidence to get a conviction with no care in the world. Remember, guys, there's psychopaths everywhere. 1 out of 10. I should say violent, or better yet, we'll use the term sadistic psychopath. right? People that get off on others' pain. 1 out of 10. So if you're in a classroom or at your school, 1 out of 10 teachers is a sadistic psychopath. There's something I wanted to show you. Hold on. Before I bring this up, we'll kind of I'll let you guys respond. I know there's a time delay or whatever. Yeah, it's just kind of messed up, CJK, that it ever happened, you know? Like, how could we have possibly prevented this? How could anybody have prevented this? Other than maybe watching out for the telltale signs. I think these disasters always, I think there's a recipe for these types of disasters. There's ingredients, you know, they're always preceded by some type of stressor in the killer's life, whether it's a bankruptcy, a divorce, a lost job, something along those lines. There's always something that's got them stressed out, and they just need to regain control. There was a guy, I can't remember his name, but for whatever reason, he wasn't doing good at work. He lost his job. His wife was doing really well, very successful, and he just wasn't living up to his own expectations, let alone hers. Right? Sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. Well, for whatever reason, this guy got all flustered, took out his rifle, parked somewhere, and targeted people who were running on the street. He just murdered a random guy that was jogging down the street for absolutely no reason. And they asked him, well, why'd you do this? He says, well, my life sucks right now, and I wanted to get control. I wanted to get control over my life again. And in a sadistic psychopath's mind, that is always an option, right? Taking a man's life and getting away with it for them, for whatever reason, is taking control, right? It's like playing God, I guess, right? What's the ultimate sin? I guess murder, you know, taking somebody's life. There's a lot of power in that. Some killers believe that if they kill you, you will literally be their slave in hell. So how do you negotiate with somebody that truly believes that? This is kind of an old story, but I thought it would be interesting to talk to you guys about, and we'll probably end on this. Funkarella, Boomtown Rats. I don't like Mondays. Monday. Maybe I'm on the fence, but I thought that's what powers this story. I'm not keeping up with you. Sorry. All right, let me share my screen here. This is kind of old news, but it's still interesting. Murderabilia. Am I saying that right? Murderabilia. I feel like the A doesn't belong, but it does. So this is Rex Heuermann. Items up for grabs include a series of magazine and newspaper covers, stories on the killings, as well as a map of the area and several quickie books on the case. The Jeep, reportedly pre-owned by Heuermann, which went up for sale for $1,000 but was still getting bids by Tuesday afternoon, and has 522,000 miles on it, according to the eBay ad. The owner has The owner was none other than the Long Island serial killer, Rex Heuermann. Right? Some of these pro burger Richard Allen folks are probably like, yeah, I would love to have that. Mr. Heuermann and family are featured in the original Peacock documentary that premiered June 10th, 2025, The Gilgo Beach Killer, House of Secrets, streaming on Peacock. The seller wrote, being sold together with the trailer, the Jeep comes with a hard top and soft top, along with all hard and soft doors, the ad said. There are extra parts stored in the trailer in boxes. Jeep runs good, and registration is ready to transfer. Don't be outbid on this one. I mean, who is bidding on this shit? Song was about a school shooter who said she didn't like Mondays. Oh, okay. I think I do know what you're referring to. What about that other song? All the little something something with the pumped up kicks. Better run, outrun my bullet. I was like, wait a minute. When I was like, wow, this song fucking hits hard. Then I started listening to the lyrics. I was like, wait a minute. I used to be a kid with pumped up kicks. A day of the week. Oh, yeah. We're all just running around offended and outraged. I'm outraged. C says, do you have video of the new car on 625? Yeah, I have that. I mean, it's not a new car. It's a vehicle that's driving there at about 150 something, 154. Pulls in and pulls out. There's nothing there. It could be something. But when you go down that private drive, see, there's a house there. So you don't know. There's mailboxes there. Could have been the mailman. Could have been somebody dropping somebody off. Could have been somebody who went down the wrong road. CJ, a sociopathic killer is someone with antisocial personality disorder, often called sociopathy, who commits murder. Antisocial personality disorder is characterized by a disregard for right and wrong. All right, guys, you going to bid on this? Don't be outbid on this one. Romeo Echo X-Ray 72. It's funny. Makes you wonder, was this thing tested for blood? And why does it have so many miles on it? What? South Carolina compound wooden relic. This is sold by Bigfoot's Treehouse. Hey, I like Bigfoot. And it looks like it's just a piece of wood. You know, when you're working in your garage and you're doing some fine tuning on a piece of wood or furniture that you're building, this looks like a scrap from off the floor. Like a 2x4 maybe. Oh, I gotta have it. I'll put it right next to my Richard Allen memorabilia. Miss Toglover, 9 a.m. Monday work team meeting. Yeah, Mondays are awful. That's why I'm trying to be a YouTuber. No more meetings. You got to wear a nice shirt and a tie. You got to tuck it in with some fancy belt. Your slacks got to be pressed and those shoes got to be nice. You got to run around acting like a politician. Meeting deadlines. No. Get your boss down your ass. I don't know. This thing actually is kind of cool. If it wasn't Rex Heuermann's. That's the reason I don't like it. That if that was the pickup car, see, that would have been at 154. So the girls wouldn't even have been taking the first Snapchat photo at that time. So just seeing a car pulling down a street doesn't mean that somebody was dropped off or the killer was in it, right? It's in pretty good condition. Tires don't look bad. Well, at least you can drive this one. What the hell are you going to do with this? It's a piece of wood. Certificate of authenticity. This wood is authentic. Jeez. You want me to find that video? See, it should be my Delphi folder. Yeah, there is no appeal. Oh, back to the question that you were asking earlier. If I think that Richard Allen's daughter is going to come forward and go public with a statement or anything, I think if she does, it'll be after the appeal. I think once Richard Allen kind of settles in and stops the facade, stops playing this character that he's been playing, and just starts talking like, "Yeah, I did it. This is what happened." Begins the whole cat and mouse thing. I think at that point she'll start talking, because I think a little bit of part of her is just doing what her mom is doing, the whole denial thing, right? If you try to hang on to that little piece of denial, I feel like a lot of opportunities are just going to pass right by you. At some point, you're just going to have to make a decision, like, do we go all in for our father, our husband, or do we just accept the fact that my dad and my husband is a killer? Yeah, bad juju, huh? It's a good point. Good night, Miss Dog Lover. Have a good meeting tomorrow. I'm sure I'll see you. Let me know how it goes. Yeah, I should have it somewhere. Oh my god, the Delphi Roblox video. Ah! Don't click on that. Oh, here it is. Before I play this, let me pull these photos up too. Okay, so these were photographs that were on Libby's phone. They weren't taken the day of the crime, but they were taken from her phone. Here's one. Hey, Kelly. Yeah, self-preservation, right? Yeah, the subconscious mind is a very interesting thing. Um, Multiple personality disorder is a good example of self-preservation, right? Can't handle all that abuse, so you actually create another personality to kind of stand up for you. So, what is Libby photographing here? Not quite sure. And it almost looks like she's down by the crime scene. So these photos, I don't know when they were taken. It was sometime shortly before the murders happened. Also took this photograph. All right, this one's very early in the morning. You can just tell by the shadow here and where the sun is hitting and where it's not. Right? If the sun was up higher in the sky, it would be hitting these areas as well. Actually, I think that might even be the shadow of the bridge. Oh, no, it's not. Looks like just around the corner. But yeah, very early in the morning. You know, when was this? Who was she with? What was she doing? Yeah, I couldn't really figure this one out. The center of the photo is right here. And I can't tell. Is there something in there? Kind of looks like there might be bones or something. Like right here. Looks like maybe stork bones or something. I don't know. Are they looking at a dead bird? Not a stork. A fucking, what is it? A pelican? Yeah, she was passionate, Kelly. She was always taking photos. A DL says that picture was allegedly sent to her while they were walking on the bridge. This one right here. This one wasn't. This is a morning photo. Right? Sun rises in the east. Yeah, it looks like maybe a dead animal. I don't know. This just kind of looks like bones or something. It's probably just sticks though. Just trying to figure out what it is that she's taking a photograph of, or what they're whoever took the photo. What are they? What's the photo of? BTK's wife was in shock, but she had sense enough to divorce that wicked man. Yeah, but we all handle things differently. We all handle trauma in our own ways. But that's what Richard Allen is. He's a trauma factory. So it just breaks my heart when I hear about childhood trauma, because it's almost like whoever hurt Richard Allen is almost responsible vicariously for the murders of Abby and Libby, like by proxy in a way. If these killers aren't traumatized at an early age, would they go on and do what they did? Sometimes I really doubt that. Not like all killers are traumatized as children, but something we can't see. Well, one thing I did notice is this stick looks like it's painted. You guys see that? See the black paint? I'm not quite sure what that means. Nothing else is really standing out to me. The grandpa? What grandpa? Oh, Richard Allen's grandpa? Well, the thing is that we know that predators target certain types of people, right? Folks who are in the foster system, right? Their parents, their families nowhere around. Who's going to protect them? Not the foster care system. We know that. Um, Children who have broken homes, like Libby, right? She was under the guardianship of Becky, who was her grandmother, lived with her father, but not in his care. And her mother and father were never married. So when you have a broken home like that and there's drugs and things like that involved, predators are going to target you. So parents, you need to realize that when you're making yourself seem weak, like a weak parent, you're putting a target on your children's head. All of these pedophiles that have come forward and were willing to talk and say, hey, I understand what I am, you know, I need help. They'll come forward and they'll tell us what they do, how they did it, who they targeted, why they targeted them. And they always wanted to help. They were always offering to babysit. You guys deserve some time alone. Go out. I'll take care of the kids. Yeah, fuck that. But something that they admitted is the type of kids that they target. Those that they feel like don't have any parents in their lives. Because these people are pussies. They're cowards. They don't want any pushback. They don't want any conflict. They want a very vulnerable victim. That's it. They don't want to get their ass kicked by somebody's dad, brother, uncle. That's why they target vulnerable children with nobody to stand up for them, right? Like Emily Pike. I guarantee the person who killed Emily Pike did it because he knew that she was in the foster care system and that there were issues with her parents. He didn't have any fears. He or she, depending on who the killer is, targeted her because she was in the foster care system and was a runaway. And that if they killed her, there would be nobody, there'd be no repercussion. So that's the only thing I see. Two little dark marks. Dark marks could be paint, could be mud. Looks like black paint to me. So I don't know. Is this some kind of a flag? Is this where they hide the geocache? What's up, Barbara? All right, let me play this video real quick. So here you have a light colored, it looks like it could be a mail truck, honestly, guys. Right here kind of looks like a mail vehicle. Not sure what they have in Delphi. It does look wider in the back. Like a hatchback, maybe. Or a truck with a camper. So I think it could be a truck with a camper too. You know, just kind of watching it as it goes. Like right there, kind of looks like it could be a truck with a camper. So this would have been at about 154. And you only see the vehicle go to right here, right? It disappears right here. You don't see where it goes. Now, over here behind whatever this is, there are mailboxes, and there's 3 homes right here. There's even a home that goes down the private drive. The entrance to the private drive is not on the Weber property. It's on the Liebert property. The gate that is on the private drive doesn't belong to the Webers. It belongs to Teresa Liebert. She's the one that keeps it locked. That's why Brad Weber has a back way into his property. See? So back here, You have mailboxes over here to the left. You have a house right here. And then you have Teresa Liebert's house right here on the other side of this field in this row of trees. And then the gate to the private drive is way back here. So you don't know what that car did. This car could have pulled up to any one of these houses, could have pulled up to the mailboxes, could have been driving around and seen that it was a private yard, a private drive, and turned around. Could have been an Amazon delivery. Could have been another killer. But you're going to need more than a photo of somebody driving on a road at 155. Right? We don't have any solid evidence that anybody else was involved. So how are you going to tie this vehicle to Abby and Libby when they're still alive right now? They're alive at this moment. They're alive until 2:13, which is 20 minutes later. I don't know. But if you guys have anything else to add, do so now in the chat. I'm getting hungry and I can smell something really yummy. So, but I am down to jump on a little bit later again tonight if you guys are, and if not, early in the morning. But we are going to be touching on the Travis Decker situation. Trying to figure out where the hell that dude is. C says, I hear car shifting. Yeah, that's a big rig. Remember, they're not far from the highway. The highway is right there. So that's what you're hearing. You're hearing like a big rig downshifting. Yeah, we might be able to go live again later. We'll see if there's anything interesting we could talk about. All right. Well, if you guys need to follow up or get a hold of me, please do so by sending me an email, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. Thanks for being a member. Pitbull Mom, thank you as well. It's good to see you. You guys hang in there. Don't be shy. If you want to talk to me, ask me a question, just email me. If you'd like to be a guest on the Sleuth Intuition channel, let me know. I'll get you up here. If there's something you want to talk about, if you want to debate me about something that you just feel that I'm just, off on, that something that I'm just missing, I'll be happy to correct myself. That's what I love to do. That's what life is all about. Just correcting things, learning from your mistakes. Let me know. Shoot me an email, Barbara. That goes to anybody. All right. My email address is sleuthintuition@gmail.com. You guys take care of yourselves. Thanks for hanging out for a quick little live stream. And I'll see you again real soon. Peace.
I rest my case.